Hey everybody, it's Garden Guy here with Mr. Jonah Sellers right here.
Hi guys.
He is what I call Mr. Tree Man. And as you can see, he looks like a human tree. No, I'm just kidding. No.
I don't know how to take that.
You have a lot of branches.
Thank you.
Hair. No, anyways, Jonah is a forestry major, graduated and from University of Tennessee. Loves plants, has from an early age, and always trust him to plant or trim, everything to do with tree care. So today we're gonna figure out what are the 4 D's. We were talking. He was like, you know, there's like a bunch of D's involved in this. What are the 4 D's of pruning fruit trees? Go, Jonah. We're all ears.
All right, so there's 4 main things that I look for when I'm pruning fruit trees, and I call them the 4 Ds. It's dead, dying, diseased, or direction, meaning the wrong direction. Nice. So the first thing I go and do when I'm pruning a tree like this, so this is an old apple tree that has been left, my guess is probably 5 to 10 years without any kind of care. Mm-hmm. And as you can see, it's very thick, it's very overgrown, and it needs a lot of work. It needs a lot of love. Mm-hmm. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go in and we're gonna cut out all the dead. And the reason for that is because we wanna know what we have to work with in the live crown. Mm-hmm. So we wanna remove all the dead so that we know that what is left is gonna be live, whether it's gonna stay or not. Mm-hmm. So a good example would be this right here. You can tell that this branch is dead because the bark all along, starting from the tips of the branches all the way to the base right here, have shriveled up. Mm-hmm. And it's lost size because it's lost water, which tells me that the life support to this branch has been cut off. So I would come in.
This whole branch right here, and this one.
I would come in because, yes, I would come in to right here and cut this whole thing off.
Oh wow.
Now the reason you might say, why would you do that? Because this branch right here is still technically alive. Because if you look at the tips of the branches coming off of it, they're still living. Mm-hmm. But if you look closely, you'll see the bark is starting to peel and there's a crack in this large branch. This would be classified as a diseased or dying branch. Right now, I'm going to classify this as a dying branch because it has open exposure to air, it has a crack in its structure, and it has open bark. But there's no visible signs of disease yet. Mm-hmm. So this would just be classified as a dying branch. There's still life in it, but not enough to support fruit.
Nice. So that one, the whole thing would go. I can see out here. I mean, this is all dead here. That's dead. That's all connected to this one guy right here. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you're right. Take that whole thing out.
Yep.
Nice. So that's dying.
That's dying.
Show us. I mean, this is dead because it's gonna just snap.
Yep.
Basically dead.
All right. So I don't see any disease at the moment, so let's go on to wrong direction. Okay. So
how would you be able to determine if it's diseased?
So typically you would have a branch that still has some life to it, and it may not even be showing signs of being dead yet, but it might have like a mushroom growing on the side of it, or it might have like a black tar or gel-like substance that is formed on the outside of the bark. And usually that can be an indicator that there's some kind of disease or pest living in that branch. And so that's something that you're going to want to completely remove in order to save the rest of the tree.
I guess some of that you might see better during the growing season.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All
right, so for this tree, I'm not really seeing anything that's heavily diseased, so we'll have to put that one on the back burner for now. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we'll move on to direction. A good example would be this right here, this branch. This is what I call a sucker. It's coming off of the main trunk of the tree, and it's growing in the wrong direction. When we're growing fruit trees for fruit production, we want trees that grow like a hand. We want branches that are open and they extend out. We don't want branches that grow straight up, straight down, or back into the canopy, because that's very difficult for fruit growth. It can make the canopy very clustered, and if it's growing straight up, it can cause the tree to grow too tall and you won't be able to grab the fruit. You'll have to use a ladder, which can cause safety precautions for certain people. So what we want to do is always try to prune the tree towards this hand shape, while keeping some of its natural shape as well. It's kind of, you're kind of working with the tree to help keep its natural shape so that you're not overly pruning it in a way that's going to hurt it, but you're kind of catering it towards that shape that is going to be easier to pick fruit from.
Gotcha.
So this right here, this, if I were to leave this, it would eventually grow out like this and probably grow straight up towards the sky, and it would try to grow a second half of the tree, and we don't want that. We already have a main existing canopy. While it is under a lot of stress and it has been sorely neglected, it still is the main canopy, and we don't want extra nutrients going towards this branch that's not really going to benefit us in any way.
Yeah.
So we would cut this off,
Okay.
which I will demonstrate right now.
Nice. Can you show us the proper way to cut?
Yes. So this is going to be a little difficult because we have this metal wire around the tree. And you notice this tree is coming directly off and up. So what we're going to have...
The branches?
The branch. What did I say?
You said tree.
Oh. It's the branch off the tree. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come about an inch up off of where this nub has started. And I'm going to cut it against the bark here without damaging it too badly.
Okay.
It might get a slight scratch, but nothing that it can't heal in a season.
So there we go. Nice and happy looking. Can you do another one like that one right there, the big boy? How do you know how far, how do you know where to cut exactly?
So most branches have what we call a collar. And that's where one part of the branch has separated from another part of the branch. So right here, if you come right here and you look at this junction, this right here would be the collar of this branch. This branch, its collar would be right here.
You can kind of see where the growth happens right there where it's stretching.
Now if I were to take this entire branch off, I would come up against the main trunk and find its collar, which is right here.
How far off the collar?
You want to cut just a few millimeters off the collar. Any further and you're going to get excess wood that's left over, and it's going to rot, and it's going to allow a hole to open in the main trunk, which then can allow pests or bugs or disease to come in.
It looks like happened maybe like right here.
Yes.
That was too far off. That wasn't even on a collar. That was just snipped off, and then it got dead.
Yeah, this was snipped off. And see, what I would have done is I would have taken, they left it up to this little branch right here. I would have taken it up to here.
The bigger.
The bigger. Because you have more cambium that's
Yeah.
going to try to heal over that wound that you've created.
And the cambium is the growth layer.
That's this live portion here. You can actually, this is a good example. If you look down there, that black wood, that's the main wood that's dead. That's the dead wood inside the trunk of the tree.
Okay.
Everything
Over here.
above it is the live cambium.
Nice.
So that's where all the nutrients, the water, the sugars, carbohydrates, those are being transported up and down the trunk of the tree.
Nice. All right.
For this one here, this one is dead. Now, this is an interesting situation. We have a branch right here that is actually still alive. But if you notice, only half of the cambium on this branch is still living. The other half has been ripped off or fallen off.
Yeah.
So in order to prevent this tree, or this branch right here, from getting any kind of disease or pest in the future, we're gonna take it all the way back to here.
Yeah.
Because this branch is healthy.
Yeah.
So more nutrients will go towards this branch and make it even healthier and more fruit bearing, other than it trying to heal over this very weird and very strong break.
Yeah. Gotcha. So you're taking a few millimeters off, straight down. Nice.
Now, if you want to get a close-up of that cut, you'll see it's as close to this trunk as I can get it without getting too far into the cambium of this other section.
Yeah.
Because this part of the cambium has actually separated from this main section because it was feeding this branch. So this will heal over time and prevent that from rotting out and allowing bugs to get inside.
Nice. Sweet. So is that all four? Did we cover all four?
We covered everything except for the diseased.
Oh yeah.
So dead, dying,
Dying,
directional, and disease.
Nice. Cool. Directional was for sure the suckers. Sometimes they'll shoot suckers up out of the ground. You just cut those off.
Yep.
Okay. Nice. And would you do the same thing for all types of fruit trees?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I'm sure some fruit trees have different growth habits.
Absolutely.
Like pears go straight up, and
Pears you have to prune them very aggressively because they have a tendency to grow straight for the sky. And you want them to have still that natural pattern, that hand shape, where the branches are coming out and horizontal, not up or down.
So it's imperative that you trim them correctly. Oh man.
Cut it out, man.
Yeah, we're cutting up right now, laughing. Awesome. Well, hey, Jonah, you're the man. Thank you so much. Wealth of knowledge here. Folks, I hope that was a blessing to you all. And yeah, we're going to keep on going. You're going to keep trimming. We have all these trees. Show us real quick what you did up here.
All right. So
as we peace out real quick.
Today, eventually I will be tackling all of the trees in this orchard here.
Yeah.
But this one was the largest and it needed the most work. So this is the one that I started on today.
And get closer.
And at this point, I am pretty much finished for all that I can do today with the equipment that I have on hand and the time that I have on hand. Plus, a good general rule for any pruning, whether it's fruit trees, ornamental, large trees, small trees, is you never want to take more than 1/3 of the canopy at any time of pruning, because that can cause more stress to the canopy and to the overall tree's health than it will actually improve. So at this point, I have taken out about 1/3 of this tree's canopy.
Yep. It's crazy how much there was. Like we've taken about two of those actually.
Yeah.
This will be the second, I mean. So quite a bit of material.
Yeah.
But a lot of it was dead.
A very large majority of this canopy was dead and was crossed over and mangled. So as you can see, there's still a little bit more that could be taken out, but in order to not stress the tree out too much, I'm gonna leave it at what I've taken out and allow the tree to breathe this next season.
Yeah. So what time of year?
The best time to do it, if you're in the eastern United States, the best time to do it is between October and April. Nice. Before you want to do it when after the leaves have fallen and before they flush out again.
It's basically a dormant season.
During dormant
all
season.
That sap is in the roots. So you're not stealing from the tree too much.
So the beauty of pruning during the fall season and winter is when the trees have gone dormant, all the nutrients that are stored away in the root system was based on the size of the canopy when it went dormant. So this canopy, as thick and large and full as it was, that's how much nutrients went into the root system. It was based off that size canopy. I've gone in and I've taken out a majority of that canopy. Taken out a good chunk. So now when it flushes out this season, this spring, it's going to have excess because it's going to have more than enough to fill the canopy that's now there because it's less than what was before. And that excess will go towards restoring the health of the tree and producing more fruit.
Nice. Now what do you do with when there's do you have to go back in and just trim again the next fall? Because some of the excess is going to be the wrong direction.
Yes, you're going to end up
too much.
You're always going to end up with some growth the next season. That's the next season over. That's not going to be exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah.
So that's why it's really good to prune your trees every year after the growing season.
Yeah.
During the fall.
You can keep them kind of smaller.
Yeah.
Like these little guys. So you've already. So you've already trimmed these. Tell me what some of these cuts. Like what about this cut?
So this cut right here, we had a center leader growing straight up, which we don't want. In fruit trees, we don't really want a center leader. We want a hand. We want the hand shape. Yeah. So the way I've pruned it is, you notice, none of these branches are going back to the inside of the canopy.
Yeah.
None of them are growing straight down.
Straight down. Looks awesome.
And nothing is growing straight up. All the branches are growing at this horizontal or slightly diagonal outward expansion. And they're all going to fill their own gap. So they're not going to cross over each other. They're not going to grow on top of each other. They're all going to fill their own gap in the canopy.
Nice. Sweet. Happy trees, happy people, happy days, happiness. Oh man, y'all keep sowing and growing. Thanks, Jonah, again. Left-handed handshake. Bam.
Bam.
Wow, your hand is so strong. Man, we're just so blessed to be out here. I'm amazed. We just enjoy. We're in the middle of the city and it feels so peaceful. All the birds chirping. It's just, thank you, thank you, Lord. It's amazing. Cool. Well, I gotta get peach caking out of here. I gotta shut down for the day. But thank you, Jonah, again. Catch you later, man. Hope to see you again on the channel.
Yes, sir.